36. I'm absolutely not what you would call a handy kind of guy. I can build an IKEA flat pack and I can follow a YouTube tutorial to find out how to declog my washing machine. But I don't have any what my father-in-law, male 60, would call worthwhile skills. I have to give him the credit that he's due and say that he's knowledgeable about plumbing, joinery, and electrics. He has often helped me and my wife with matters in our home, leaky pipe, some plastering work, etc. And we've always been grateful and appreciative of his efforts. My skills are more IT-based. Nothing wrong with that. I work in this field for a living, which means I often get saddled with the old chestnuts such as, can you fix the printer? Or, the internet isn't working. To me, these problems are simple issues to fix. But he is very IT illiterate. I never make a big deal about this because it's the least I can do to repay his help. However, he spares no opportunity whatsoever to take shots at my lack of worthwhile skills. He'll say often in front of my friends and family that I'm not a real man or that I'd be useless in an emergency, that sort of thing. Well, he's right about the last part. You would be useless in an emergency. I think, so far, anyways, I think the part that goes too far is saying that, like, he's not a real man and denigrating him in front of his family. I think that part's too far. I don't think you insult a man in front of his family. I think that's just too much. I think, like, that's not based on any, like, objective morality or whatever. Or, like, objective, like, this harms other people. I just think that you just don't do that because it's... like, it's kind of next level, right? Like, you're including, like, the family in on that and purposely trying to damage his familial bonds. Ayla Lightbringer, thank you for the $2. Okay, socks, Riona Kid. No! I think, you know, like, sometimes people make, like, mean jabs and stuff, and you just gotta kind of, like, deal with it, right? Sometimes people are just fucking assholes. Like, so I'm a streamer, right? So I hear whenever, like, well, not whenever, but, like, sometimes when I'm explaining my line of work to people, they'll be like, oh, so you beg for money on the internet? And it's like, well, no. You can choose to interpret it like that, but you know, like, it's not worth arguing with them. It's not worth, you know what the intention was. You know what the intention was. You know why they're saying the thing that they're saying. Okay? And you just gotta kinda let it go. Because it's just not fucking worth it. It's just not worth it. And all they want to do is cause an argument. Because it'll make them feel superior. You know? You know, so it's like, you just gotta kind of let it go. Don't give them what they want. They're like IRL trolls. They're IRL trolls. But then if you did that, like, in front of my 3 adorable bunnies, I'd kick your ass. Just kidding, my rabbits would kick my ass. Not so deadpool, thank you for $5. Here's my donation, Pippa. Leave me alone! They're technically correct. I don't beg for money! They're not technically correct. I'm not begging for money. I might ask you to buy my merch, but I'm not like, oh my god, if you guys don't donate to me, I'm gonna lose my house. That's not how that works. I know it's not how it works because it's in the contract. Go spooky thing, Dolores. Some change for the bucket. Groodle Gaming. Or no, that part's not in the contract. I just remember, like, we were told at an early stage, like, you're not allowed to, like, directly ask. Groodle Gaming thing for Dolores. My response to those sort of questions is to cry about it. Raven Chiha, thank you, BPB, monthly protection fee. Master J, thank you for $5. Tell them people pay for your opinion. That's what it is. Also, their opinion is worthless. Red Remover, thank you for the $10. Okay, but only because your house depends on it. No! Jim's bonding from 50. If I don't donate, people will lose our housing. My money. Shut up, my little see that your dollars house fund. Ah! Stop adding to my super chat list! Stop adding to the list! Grand thing come big BB dance for entertainment, funny woman, gold heart dragon thing come big BB rent money. Oh my god. I see you beater, thank you. Oh, Ice Cube beater, thank you. Come big BB. Pippa's gonna lose her house. Please don't. Okay, because he does a lot of stuff that I generally suck at, I bite my tongue and don't say anything to him. That's generally the best approach. I mean, especially if he's doing... Listen, if he's doing a bunch of stuff for you for free... And, oh my god, so many fucking supers. If he's doing a bunch of stuff for free for you, anyways, you know what? Listen to his whining. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's benefiting. You know? Just turn your brain off. Listen to some music. Put on some classic rock and let him jam out. Nogler, thank you for $20. Don't tell me what to do. Accidentally, thank you for the 1,100 rent free. Don't lose your house, please. Apple Gambit, thank you for $2. This is because you said stop. Free spread, thank you for $4. Who are these people? I'm so old. Tons of cringe interactions. I don't understand. This isn't happening in real life. Desk with deal with it. Pippa, keep reading. Carcore, thank you. What about a lisp? I wasn't listening. Also, hi, chat. Don't lose your home. Tonwin, thank you for the $5. Okay. Because he does do... Okay, this week changed that. We bought my daughter this massive climbing frame / swing set for her birthday. My wife and I were able to assemble most of it, but the last few bits, as well as anchoring it to the ground, were giving us issues. My brother happened to stop by to visit, so he helped, but my wife also phoned father-in-law to come help. We got the job done, but again, the commentary continued, which was especially insulting considering my brother was there. Yeah, that's rude. That's rude. I think the worst part is like the fact that this guy is doing it in front of your wife, right? Like I just don't think that's appropriate. I'd say grin and bear it if it was just in front of like the brother or whatever, cause like it's just between men. But like doing it in front of the wife, like he's like forcing you into like a submissive role here. Like like he's deliberately trying to one up you. Trying to appear like more dominant than you. Like a dog. So it's like don't embarrass a man in front of his woman. Yeah, is not BDSM. I'm talking like dogs. I'm talking like dogs, chat. I think the fact that you're more concerned about like being insulted in front of your brother than your wife, I think, personal opinion, I think you should reevaluate your priorities. Okay? Because it sounds like you're worried about being last in the food chain here, but you're already last in the food chain. You're already last. Because you're letting him shit talk you in front of your wife. The brother's not the issue. Okay, anyways, yesterday we were up visiting him. I was there as was my wife, his wife, and my wife's brother and his wife. Holy shit. He asked me if I could look at his laptop as he had some sort of virus. When I fired it up, it was one of those ransomware programs. Camera was showing the webcam feed on a fake police website. I was able to get his computer somewhat back to normal after a while, which took longer than he'd have liked according to his comments. Dude, people always fucking do this. I hate this shit so much. You do something for somebody and they're like, well, how long is this gonna take? And it's like, well, I don't know. How about you go sit in another room while I do the thing? How about you just don't fucking worry about it? And if we were in a repair shop, you wouldn't be heckling the fucking repairman. You wouldn't be heckling the repairman. Leave me alone, woman. While I was bringing it back, he kept badgering me about what had caused the virus. I perused his internet history. Oh, I perused through his internet history, revealed a lot of porn. Nothing particularly embarrassing, but probably information that he wouldn't have wanted shared. It was out of my mouth before I had even finished processing the thought. Loads of these porn websites have a lot of viruses and dodgy stuff. I'll get you a membership from my Norton account. You could have cut the tension with a knife. His wife looked super angry, and sister-in-law stifled a laugh. We left shortly after that, but on the way out we heard the two of them arguing. My wife gave me both barrels in the car, but I said he is always giving me a hassle and I keep my mouth shut. Things have been frosty ever since, and I wonder if I went too far. Am I the asshole? No, I think your wife is the ass... Okay, let me make a poll. Let me make the poll. Is OP the asshole? I'm gonna say no. I think the wife is the asshole. JP thinking $10. I work in IT. People do in fact heckle the repairman. I'm so sorry. Eric Huxing, BP. OP is based. I think it's a little cowardly that this is the only way OP was able to get back at his father-in-law. Like in order to Like, this isn't gonna resolve any of the tension in the relationship, right? Like, you didn't do anything other than piss your father-in-law off more, and now he's gonna go at you even more aggressively. And if you have, like, the charisma to pull off, like, making it all about, like, his porn addiction or whatever, next time he's giving you shit. Like, if you're able to do that, good for you. I don't believe you're able to. Yeah, OP sounds timid. I think OP is a little bit too timid. I don't know. I think it's karma, yeah, for the father-in-law. I agree with that, but I don't think you actually accomplished anything here. I don't think, like, you got back at your father-in-law a little bit, and it's like I'm sure it'll help your ego a little bit. But like, you need to, like, actually shut this guy down. Like, if he's shit-talking you in front of his wife. I think the wife is the biggest asshole here. Clearly, the wife respects her father more than she respects you. And I don't agree with that. I think if you want to talk about, like, traditional values, then I think the wife should be placing the husband first here. And like, she doesn't have to agree with what he did, but, like, I think she should be able to agree, right? That, like, the father-in-law has been giving shit. So when the son does it, or not son, when the husband is doing it back to the father-in-law, that it's like, just side with your husband. Like, don't defend your father-in-law. But I feel like, and maybe I'm looking at this too much, like, in a animal brain kind of way or whatever, but it feels like the wife values the father-in-law and his authority more than she values the self-esteem of her husband. And I don't think that's appropriate. I don't see anything from doors. I would have just made subtle jabs when he's doing stuff. Throw father-in-law insults back at him. Bonus in front of family. Turnabout is fair play, in my opinion. Throws insults back at him. I don't think there's any way for OP... Like, maybe if OP made, like... I don't know. I don't know how he would turn his insults back at him. Because OP's father-in-law is insulting him based on his inability to do handiwork and stuff. It's her father, and it's his husband? What? I think OP is overly sensitive and just ribbing, not insults. I think OP isn't oversensitive. I don't think OP isn't... I don't think OP is oversensitive. Because the father-in-law is clearly insulting him, right? Like, saying that he doesn't have any worthwhile skills. The father-in-law does not have any respect for the husband. OP is not oversensitive. OP just doesn't know how to handle his emotions in a more practical way. I don't think you're being oversensitive if you get annoyed that somebody's saying that you don't have any worthwhile skills, right? That somebody's disrespecting you. And you can be like, oh, well, actually, well, if OP just had, like, some confidence, then he wouldn't be bothered by somebody insulting his skills. But it's like, this is a person that, like, he's family with, you know? Like, you want your family to respect you. This isn't some random guy out on the street or whatever. It'd be oversensitive if you're like, oh my god, the fucking Home Depot employee said that I have no idea what I'm doing when I asked him what type of screwdriver head I would need to twist the screws into the place at, or whatever the fuck, you know? It's his father-in-law. But I think the issue is I don't think he's too oversensitive. I think he just needs to man up. I can eat anything. Dolores OP just saw an opportunity and took it. Yeah, I don't think he's an asshole for that. Again, I don't think he's an asshole for any of this. I think he needs to man up. And I think his wife's a bitch. Because Laura's thinking for Dolores. OP needs to step it up. Getting trampled all over in front of his wife too, to be honest. It's kind of sad. You can't let family step over you either. For the most part. Right? you can't let family step over you, but you also like can't take it to the extreme. I don't think it is reasonable for him to insult her father. Like, I think you should have more respect for your elders than that. But at the same time, like, I give it a pass because the dude's being an asshole, you know? Like, I can give it a pass. Like, even though you should respect your elders and you shouldn't take, like, pot shots at them. I mean, the guy has been doing it for however long and constantly doing it in front of his wife. I'd say the old man took it too far first. No doubt, outing in front of her, his wife needs to be reminded that she's married to OP, not her dad. When her dad insults OP, that's an insult to her too. It is. It is. Yeah, literally, he started it. He started it! Is it a two-way street? Yeah. No one was really in the right. Not really. Respect is earned, Pippa? Yeah, and I think old people naturally earn respect by having lived longer and having more experiences than you. I think respect is earned is more of a concept when you're referring to like strangers, and like even then I think people like warp it into something that I just don't agree with. Right? Like I feel like at a fundamental level you should respect other living beings. If somebody is disrespecting you, then depending on the context, depending on how much you should respect them, depends on or correlates to how much I think you're capable of or should be allowed to like get back at somebody when they disrespect you. Right? Like, no, I'm not saying it's ever good for somebody to disrespect you, right? I'm not saying, like, in an ideal world, nobody would disrespect you. But I'm saying, okay, with the father-in-law here, I think you should respect him at a base level as a human being, right? Because he's a human being. And that level of respect is like, I don't know, not tripping him down the stairs. You know? Like, not intentionally disrespecting him. Being kind. Being courteous. Right? Then, there's like the modifier of, well, he's a lot older than you. This man is like 30 years older than you. He's lived through a lot more than you. He probably knows a lot more than you. You should be more respectful and more polite and more open to hearing what he has to say. That's not to say that you should not be open to what other people say or whatever when they're the same age or younger than you. But like, the older you get, the more wisdom you're going to acquire. The more experiences you have lived. Not necessarily... True, not necessarily. The father-in-law could be a complete fucking idiot, but it's a more reasonable assumption to assume that the person that has lived longer and had more experiences is going to be more knowledgeable and experienced than you. And it's not going to apply to every field, but just in general. Then, on top of that, is the modifier of this is your wife's family, right? Presumably, this is like the patriarch of her family. And you should apply even more respect on top of that. Because that's your wife's family. You know? Like, you should go even more out of your way to be polite and courteous. This is like you should be going out of your way to do things for him. Because this is now your family as well. You want to have his respect. You're going to give him respect. And you're being respectful to your wife. So, that's how I feel. You're free to disagree on that. You're free to be like, no, Peppa, just because he's old doesn't mean he knows anything. It's just a case in some scenarios, but I think in general, if you live your life assuming that the people that are older than you, like, at a baseline, are not gonna know anything more than you or whatever, are like, what does it cost you? I just want to know. I just want to know. What does it cost you? It doesn't cost you anything to value the wisdom or to be more receptive to your elders. Your sanity. It should not cost you your sanity. Time, patience, energy. I don't see how that's an issue. I'm not saying, like, listen. If it's like, okay. You know what? Yeah, I am saying. Okay, listen. If you're standing at a crosswalk. There's an old lady looking to cross the street, right? Very cliche example. You should help her. Why? Because she's older than you, and you should be more polite to your elders. Okay? Like, and you can be like, oh, but what if like somebody is crossing the street and they're carrying a bunch of groceries, but they're my age? Are you saying I shouldn't help them carry their groceries? And I'm gonna say to that, no, you should not help them carry their groceries. If they need help, like, you can ask them, like, hey, do you need help? Right? You do need help. And if they're like, yeah, then sure, go ahead and help them. But as a baseline, no, you're not fucking obligated to help that person. You're not fucking obligated to help them. They're most likely physically capable, and if they're not, then that's unfortunate. But you should not, like, have to extend yourself. Regardless. If they look like they need help, I think it's polite to do so. But I don't think you have to take the time out of your day. I think you should, but you don't have to. Anyways. Anyways. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Respect does not equal goodwill. I disagree. I think goodwill and respect are fundamentally entwined with one another. If you don't respect somebody, why would you harbor any goodwill towards them, right? Listen. If I see a serial killer and they're like dangling off the ledge of a cliff, I do not respect them, so I'm not gonna harbor any goodwill towards them. So I'm not gonna help them up. Because they don't even have the respect of a human being, in my opinion. Right? I don't even respect them as a human being. If it's like some other person, right? Just a normal person, I have no idea what their story is. I respect them as a human being. I'm gonna try and help them off the cliff. You know? Push them off the cliff. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, chat. What if the serial killer is older than you? Shut up. Shut the hell up. Still no. The serial killer modifier is too strong. It no matter what, it's gonna push the stats into the negatives. Sydney with the 20 knocks. Hate olds, don't respect them. Listen. You can apply any number of modifiers to anything, okay? Listen, I saw people bring up politicians. A lot of politicians are old people. But they have the politician debuff. Which means they're a snake, a liar, corrupt, and a cheat. Just by their very nature. So no, you don't have to respect them and their wisdom. Because they're a crook, a liar, a cheat, and a snake. Their debuff modifier of being a politician pushes them into the negative. What about boomers, Pippa? Boomers derogatory or boomers like the actual group of people? If it's boomers derogatory, fuck them. I'm tired of dealing with their shit. If it's boomers, the normal people, like the normal demographic, they're a little annoying sometimes, but it's fine. Right? Same thing with millennials. If it's millennials, derogatory, fuck them. If it's millennials normal, just the normal demographic, fuck them. Sorry, I mean, they're people too. Sorry. You're contradicting yourself again. How? I'm not. Pippa mistakes she assumes politicians have wisdom. When did I say that? I've actively said the opposite of that. Cameron Smithing even to lawyers. What about Karens? Karen's derogatory or Karen's the group of people that just happen to have the name? Karen's derogatory? Fuck them. Karen's normal people? I'm so sorry you were born with that name. I'm so sorry your family cursed you with that name. Great thing for the lawyers. I like refreshed the list or something. What the hell did I do? Oh god. Oh god. I can help an old woman with her groceries because I think it's the right thing and still not think she intrinsically has more wisdom than me and or respect her opinion. I think you should respect everybody's opinions on things until they prove themselves to be a complete and utter dumbass. And even then, sometimes fools have a nugget of gold. You know? You know? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Especially because of especially like growing up, right? Growing up, like I assumed, you know, oh, this person's a scientist, so they're gonna know so much more than me. They're gonna be so smart. They're gonna be so wise. Well, guess what? They're into homeopathy. I was played. I was a fool. Should not have respected their opinion. But I found out. Being young, right? Homeless people? Gross. You know? Like when I was younger, I was like, homeless people, they're homeless because of their bad choices. Because they're all alcoholics and drug addicts. Right? But then, clip it. No, don't clip it. But then, right, I grew up, I realized, you know what? A lot of homeless people are actually people that fought serving the country, that came back. True, fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Are a lot of people that they came back after fighting for the country, they lost it, like their legs, a lot of limbs. They've been mentally scarred. They don't know how to deal with their own trauma. They haven't been provided the tools in order to be able to do so. They lose like their entire families because their wives are cheating whores and they sue them when they come back. It's like, they still have so many stories to tell. Have so many experiences to share and so much wisdom, you know? Like you can't you can be like, oh, well, this like specific outlier, you know, like this old lady sells homeopathic medicine, so you shouldn't believe her. And you know what? True. True. But on average, she's gone through more stuff than you. So I think it's more worth paying attention to her. I think she's more worth paying mind to when sitting down and listening to her versus sitting down and like listening to a 20-year-old. I'm not saying a 20-year-old doesn't have lived experiences and interesting things to say, but or wisdom to share. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I think lived experience is a very powerful thing. Dualistic thinking to ours. It isn't normal people versus bad people. Spectrum. I never said it is normal people versus bad people. What? Homeopathy is rubbish. It is. Agree, Pippa. Everyone has their own story and wisdom to share, regardless of age. Though you can learn a lot from listening to everyone. I'm not saying that like it has to be entirely exclusive. I'm just saying, on average, more like lived experiences, newspeak. You're so fucking annoying. You're so fucking annoying. Newspeak, lived experiences, newspeak. Bro, it's a thing that describes a thing. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? It literally perfectly describes what I'm talking about. What do you want me to say? This person's experience with being alive and the several turbulations that they may have overcome, the good moments and the bad moments that they might have lived through. Fuck off! The word work! Me use the word! Caramel the rabbit person for those. Yes or yeah, I chat a lot of older rabbit persons and it helped me grow. Listen, chat. I think you should give more respect to your elders than you would on average to a fellow human being. And I'm not wrong on that. And if you think I'm wrong, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not saying every old person that's like... Because, listen, I heard so much wrong shit when I was younger, right? Especially from teachers. Especially from fucking teachers, right? Teachers are like, Pippa, this is my wisdom I bestow upon you. They didn't say it like this, but it adds to the effect. This is my wisdom I'm bestowing upon you, Pippa. When you grow up, you're gonna regret not enjoying your youth more. You're gonna be like, you're gonna get into the real world, and you're gonna be like, oh man, I miss being in kindergarten. And you know what? I don't miss being in kindergarten for a goddamn day. I don't miss being. That was wrong wisdom. That wisdom was incorrect. I'm sure it's more correct on I'm sure it's correct on average for a lot of people, but that shit was not correct for me. That shit was not correct for me. But now, I do have that memory, and I can apply it to other people, and it's like something that I can talk about and something that can help me understand other people, depending on what their response is to the question. Like, oh, do you ever regret not do you regret not being a kid? Do you wish you could be a kid again? And if somebody's like, yeah, then I can be like, oh, well, why is that? And I can be like, I don't know why somebody would want to be a kid again.